I know I've been MIA, I'm sorry, I've been busy, okay? We're gonna talk about the patch notes, the most important stuff, and whether you should summon on these 2 new heroes, especially as free to play, because we're all limited in resources, right? There's now a new module shop. Every day it's gonna refresh and it's gonna be extra 10 mythic modules you can choose. As you see here, the first 2, they cost 1500 and then you get 4 substats. This is actually good if one of them rolls speed like this one. Now you could spend 1500 of these tokens, the module essence, but hey, do you have any? This is the biggest issue right now, right? Previously you only got these currently if you beat new dungeons. First clear rewards. So I would assume within 13 hours they're going to add it somewhere new, right? You gotta think that. But I do not see anywhere in the patch notes of where they added module essence. So maybe we're just gonna find out. Like obviously they wouldn't add them as a drop in Grim Pursuit. It would make sense if they added it as a drop in Thresholds, but I don't see that. Maybe Investigation? No. GP Outpost? Well, that wouldn't make sense. Are they gonna add it to Ethernet Rally? Maybe. This doesn't reset for another 7 days though, and they added the shop today. Ember Trek clears? Nah. Supply Hub? No. Will they be added to all events going forward? More to come there. Starting tomorrow, we're getting a module Forge event where you can actually craft new modules. You're gonna have to farm Threshold during this event. Is Sharon going to be easy now? Fixed an abnormal evolution counter for mobs in Grim Pursuit Sharon under certain circumstances. I don't know what that means. However, I'm gonna give you a quick teaser, and here's the teaser, my new Inferno Sharon team. I'll be doing a video on these Bash brothers here soon, but let's see if Sharon's actually easier today than it was yesterday. And speaking of the Bash brothers, man, I am so finally happy I finally pulled a Rahu. That man is a beast. So currently the buds and the blossoms will evolve continuously as dots are triggered. I do feel like the ads did evolve quicker in the past, but hey, I can't really tell at this point. GG boys. I don't know, it's hard to tell personally. They fixed a bug on Tiamat, which I don't really know what this means either, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was an issue. If revived while being killed, it's gotta be a grammatic error. Anywho, it's fixed, whatever they fixed. They increased Phantom Theater and Union to ×5 speed, and let me tell you, it feels amazing. That's pretty much the most important stuff of the patch. Now before I talk about these 2 new units, let me just have a disclaimer. Whenever new heroes or Animus come into a game, you do not need these heroes. Every time a new Animus is put into the game, people always complain and say, well, we can't skill them up. You don't have to. We need more depth to heroes. We need help in certain dungeons. So they're providing that. Anyway, moving on. Do you summon on this banner, even as free to play? We got 2 new heroes. One is Batsby, blue odd damage dealer. Second one, Ninfoniel. I don't know. I'm so bad with names. I really don't care. Another blue odd support. Now this is the first time in this game where they actually put out 2 new heroes of the same element. That dragon's pretty dope though, not gonna lie. Now on paper, both Animus look really good. Let's talk about Batsby, the skill 3 AoE vulnerable for 2 turns. And for every unit that a crit lands, Batsby gains 20% turn meter. So if there's 5 enemies on the field, it's 100% turn meter if he crits, giving him a second turn, which is a second skill of AoE again. This will also 100% chance at max skill extend the debuffs. This does not include crowd control. Also note he has a heal block on his basic attack and he has a passive. For every debuff on an enemy, Batsby's damage is increased by 10%. And if his target is countered, which I'm not 100% sure on if it's him countering them, so if it's fire he gets increased damage, or if they're wind because the target's affinity counters Batsby, damage dealt is increased to 30%, stacking 6 times 6, 12, 180% extra damage. I'm assuming that it's if Batsby attacks a red fire unit reason. He will be a very strong damage dealer against that kind of dungeon like Aurora. And then you put him on momentum. The main places Batsby would shine would be like Threshold, Doki. Yeah, he'd be good in Investigation, 5 enemies, big whoop. GP Outpost Reason, because his strength is better to counter the affinity of the target. You can't forget that he's going to be doing more damage to the main target on all 3 of his skills. So yes, of course he's going to be great in Aurora. But don't forget the team comp that you need for Aurora. 1 healer, 1 stripper. So yeah, you could use Batsby in a speed clear with like Viper the stripper, Ling the healer, right? And then you got Dina for the debuffs. But if you have Yelly or Lilium, or even a super beefy Didding, like, do you need to pull Batsby? Personally, I don't think so, especially with like SSR damage dealers. You really want to max out multiple skills. Look at Yelly, look at Lilium. Hell, even look at Zayada and Rosa. You really need to max at least minimally 2 skills. 8 to 12 perfect lattice on SSRs for like specific areas, just not my thing. But do you need the pull? I would say no. Now we got Ninfoniel. In my opinion, I do feel like she's an amazing support. 2-turn attack buff, 1-turn immunity, and a 2-turn Rhyme Bloom, which is kind of like a shield. Rhyme Bloom absorbs damage depending on her max HP. While this shield is active, by the way, it increases the attack of your team, whoever has Rhyme Bloom, by 40%. In my opinion, this skill is busted, and it's a 4-turn cooldown. If you add in Kachi the Guard or Ling to this and extend those buffs. Second skill is like a Valerian type of skill, equalizes all of the HP of your team and then heals your allies 25%, so actually a little bit better than Valerian skill. It just doesn't have that instant death save. 4-turn cooldown as well, so you need 4 lattice in her too. Because skills that have a 5-turn cooldown, you just feel it in your bones and it sucks. First skill, res up the self for 2 turns. So in my opinion, like Batsby, she does require some perfect lattice, unless you're going that speed YOLO comp, which in my opinion, Ninfoniel is a little bit better than Batsby. If you want to improve your speed clears, then yes, I think Ninfoniel is actually a good pull for free to play. Now the big question is, why would XD put out banners of the same element, the blue odd? Seems kind of odd. Dad joke. In my opinion, what they're trying to give you is an option for everyone's account. Do you need a water damage dealer? Do you need a water support for specific dungeons, specifically Aurora? I think in a patch note or something like that, they said they're going to give you units that are going to help you in Rengo, which in my opinion, do these 2 units actually help you? Especially in the majority of these dungeons, you usually see like a Ling Lu, which is already a blue odd element. The other healer people use in speed clears are technically Sanya, but the Sanya teams use Viper, and the whole point of this dungeon is to spread out your elements. So would you give up Viper or Ling Lu for a Batsby or a Ninfoniel? They're more Aurora units in my opinion, but I sure don't think so. I know I wouldn't take out Ling and put in Batsby or Ninfoniel when I can just do it with this team with Didding. But I do think they're giving you an option to pull either or specifically for Aurora. I think Ninfoniel will be more beneficial for PvE and PvP. Batsby only really shines against Reason Fire Red heroes, and honestly is more beneficial when there's 5 units on the field, not 4 or 3. Yeah, it kind of helps. So in conclusion, if I was going to personally pull on something, it would be on Ninfoniel. Tell me who you're going to choose to pull on, because again, these are just my suggestions for you, and just telling you what I probably will end up doing if I choose to do that. If you ended up liking this video, make sure to hit that sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell so you know when I post a video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.